All right, crew, we are back. Today we're going to be taking a look at the light setup that I'm planning on throwing on my Geissele URGI. I normally do a lot with, cloud defensive lights. I have that on my main go-to SBR currently, a Rain 3 head on a Rain 1 body. And then I have a second build with a Rain 2. And a few months back, if you've been following along, I did get a Rain Micro. Decided to go ahead and I had bought a Modlite handheld off of Brownells quite some time ago and been playing around with the Modlite world. So went ahead, snagged the Arisaka 18650 body, Surefire DS00, a Modbutton in the 4.5-inch configuration, and going to be running this on the URGI. I did get a Scout offset mount as well. So being we're not going to be assembling that onto the upper on here, probably won't be diving too much into that, but that is the mount that I'm planning on using, is their offset Scout mount, M-Lock. And the reason I'm not going to go ahead and assemble this onto the upper on the screen is obviously YouTube policies around assembly of firearms is pretty ridiculous. But we'll go ahead and, for the context of this video, we are literally just assembling a light and running through exactly why I selected this light. So again, we've got our 18650 body. This is the first time I'm actually pulling this out of the packaging. So very well made, nice and lightweight, and I do like that it is it's just a sleek design. Set this out of the way for the moment. We'll go ahead, we'll get our DS00 tail cap out, and I did break out, I have a Modlite battery. And one question, I know everybody says the heads kind of dictate whether they are dual fuel or not, but we'll go ahead and, so the DS00, we're going to test the dual fuel. It does have a consistent on switch on one side, and then you do have your port for the actual switch. So kind of dual purpose there, being the mod button is not a consistent on. And I'm gonna go ahead and throw this onto here for us here. I may even lube those threads a little after we test this out. But yeah, I think that's gonna be pretty awesome. I have been running, again, if you've been following along, I've been trying a few different heads. I have an IR head, I have the Modlite red head, which I've been running on my flashlight, or my handheld, a fair amount, and really enjoying that. Honestly, I'm probably going to buy another handheld, likely off of Brownells, with another OKW that ultimately will probably live on this, and then I'll leave a red head on a handheld and then an OKW on a handheld. So I have a red and a white set up ready to go that I can use as I'd like. But currently my OKW that was on that handheld is what I'm going to throw onto here. And this is not a multi-mode, so actually this one might live on this, because in my opinion you don't really need multi-mode on a weapon mounted light ultimately. So thinking about it, that one actually will probably live on here, and I will just get another OKW. I do have a few of these Modlite batteries. Again, I acquire a fair amount from Brownells, so did snag these off of them. On their page it appears that you're only getting one, but the kit actually comes with two, so I think it's $35. You get two separate batteries, so you get a couple in a spare and then an extra spare. All right, so Oh yeah. It's a nice, easy setup. Very sleek, streamlined design. But with this, along with the offset mount, this is going to allow me to slide it as tight to the D-ball that I'll be mounting on my URGI as I can. And let's go ahead and pop open the mod button here. And again, since we aren't throwing this on the upper, I'll go ahead and I'll show you. It does come with, you know, your mounting hardware and the 2 screws and nuts that ultimately get used to go ahead and mount it through the pick rail on the actual receiver. So we've got that, and then we have our switch here. Go ahead and plug this guy right in, and let's test this here. So again, it's going to be a momentary. It's not going to be a consistent, and that is going to be a little bit of an adjustment for me, being I am used to cloud, and I'm used to having the 2 separate buttons. So again, part of the reason why I'm actually switching to running the Modlite outside of, you know, running their handhelds recently is I have seen a lot of feedback since cloud rolled out their new switches. And people having issues with them and ultimately needing to warranty them. The micro that I did have a few months back that I did a video on, it actually came with a head that was clearly programmed for a MCH, and with that, it had a programmable mode. The micros do not come with a programmable mode. So, to say the least, I actually had to warranty that head. I sent it back to cloud. Cloud in turn then sent back another head which actually had a anoblem on it, and being it was a new light, I went ahead and I sent that back again, and they sent me a Chicro and a new head that was actually what was needed on the micro. So I will say fair there, a little frustration on my end, but I do really enjoy their Rain 3 head that I have on my SBR. I enjoy the Rain 2 that I have. And that micro, after they corrected everything, it has been great. I run the 2-button switches on those where I have a consistent on, or I have a momentary. So this is going to be a little new, just having a momentary, but it is going to be pretty nice setup. And then obviously I do have the button here if I do want just a constant on. But for the most part, even on my clouds, I just tend to ride this button when I want it on. So I think it will fulfill that need. And as far as dual fuel, again, I know I've heard that it's driven off of the head, but I've been kind of curious because I know Surefire doesn't dabble in the 18650 world, so the compatibility with this obviously is there. So now if we throw this in here, let's see how this is and if it works, because I have not. All right. So the output on that obviously is going to be, it's still pretty bright. I know some companies do say that running CR123s is not the same output as running an 18650. Probably very likely the 18650s do have a very solid output. Forgot to pop those guys out of there. And here we go. So yeah, guys, that is what I will be running on the URGI here shortly. Get that mounted on the upper. Definitely sub, follow along. Just ordered I had an RC2 come in that will be going on the URGI build out. Still got to get all the paperwork filed for that. We do have the D-ball that will be going on there, and I'm still working on an optic, likely going to be doing a EOTech EXPS 3-0. Just reason being it's a solid night vision optic. And the other additional benefit, kind of looping back to the light here, of running Modlite over running cloud is I can now run, you know, white light, I can run the red head, or the IR head that I have. So being the D-Ball A3s don't have, you know, a great output with their illuminator, I can always swap this and run an IR, a dedicated, you know, IR head on this for night vision outings and that kind of stuff. So a lot more versatility in that aspect than I was getting with the cloud defensive lights. Again, I love them, but this definitely gives me more options for this particular build. So I'll get this mounted up, and yeah, you'll see as I'm rolling out my other videos here with the URGI, you will see this mounted on there and ready to rock and roll. But if you do slide over to Brownells for anything, use code BOP10. That gives you 10% off on orders over 150. There are restrictions around some products, one of them being Modlite. I believe Surefire also falls under that as well. But Arisaka should be fair game for the 10% off. Additionally, if you are looking for a Modbutton in 4.5, Brownells rarely gets these in. I did source this off of Bigtex. They did have this over there, as well as some of these other parts they should have as well. But there are parts like this DS00 that just they blow out of stock really quick, so you have to do kind of shop around to piece together if you are not ordering a complete Modlite package. So, but yeah, I will catch you guys later. Run suppressed. Stay blessed.